To think that coming to the 2020 drafts, there were actual questions about Anthony Edwards' love for basketball. But he's done nothing but prove all of those doubts wrong throughout his career in just the past 2 years. And in his first playoff game ever, he just put on an absolute show and had a complete masterclass performance to take away a game that the Memphis Grizzlies honestly should have won. So let's talk about it. Before I get started, hi, I'm FLB. I upload 2 to 3 times a week, but the entire playoffs I'm trying to go daily, talk about the biggest games and what's going on in the NBA around that time. So if you're interested in that and you want to keep up with the channel and be part of the gang, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It helps me know what you guys like from me. I'd love to have you back here. But before we get started, let's have a word from our sponsors today, SeatGeek. Now, SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes all the confusion out of buying tickets. You have an event you want to go to, but they're sold out? Not anymore. Just go on SeatGeek and type in the event that you want to go to, and they show you all the tickets available, and they rate them from a score from 0 to 10. 0 being a bad deal, and 10 being in the green, which is a good deal. And today, if you use my code FLB at checkout, you get 20% off your first ticket. With the NBA playoffs here and a lot of games being sold out, I highly suggest that you do take advantage of that and use SeatGeek to get a ticket to see your favorite team play. I just used it. I'm gonna go see the Miami Heat Game 2 game against the Atlanta Hawks. But with that being said, thank you for SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. The NBA playoffs is here, guys, and today the first game we talk about on this channel is Game 1 of the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. And while I do have the Memphis Grizzlies probably winning this series, I gotta say this Game 1 really did kind of surprise me. I expected Memphis not to run away with this game, but to, let the statement be known that they're not a pretender and that they control this series pretty much. But throughout this entire game, Memphis didn't have control of this series at all. The Timberwolves came out with a quick punch, and Memphis, while going on a run with Ja Morant on the bench, we're gonna talk about that a little later, they just really weren't able to pull away after that. They got, I think, at most a 2-point lead after that run, and then ever since, Minnesota just ran away with this game, or not even ran away, but they were just completely in control in the driver's seat. Karl Towns, after a disappointing performance against the Clippers and people questioning whether he can actually perform in the postseasons, considering the first time he went to the postseason he performed horribly about a couple of years ago, and then a play-in game that's the do or die for your season and you don't play well. I understand why people would question if you can play well in the playoffs, but he shut down all of that noise this game with 29 and 13, honestly dominating the entire game, crushing one on Jaren Jackson Jr. in this game. Looked great. So overall, I think you guys can let off Cat a little bit. He did his job. But Cat wasn't the only big with a pretty nice impact on this game. Jaren Jackson Jr. had a pretty nice game with 7 blocks while only shooting 7 for I think 4 for 13. He's not that efficient normally, so get used to this. But overall, he had a pretty nice impact on this game while he did kind of rescind a lot of his defensive efforts, getting about 5 fouls and putting people on the free throw line. Overall, when he was on the floor, even though the numbers say he was a negative 16, the Grizzlies felt a little bit more in control with him on the floor. Something else that also caught my eye and a lot of people on Twitter too is that Memphis closed a double-digit lead with Ja off the floor. It's been a question that a lot of people have. Memphis went about 20-6 in the regular season without him, so a lot of people question if the Memphis Grizzlies are a better team without Ja. I completely disagree. Somebody with that type of offensive punch, no matter the defensive woes and that small of a sample size, you can't really say they're a better team. But it did show that they did play a lot more team basketball without him on the floor, and when he's on the floor it's a little bit more one-on-one, but he's a ball dominant guy. That's how it's normally going to go. So while it's only game 1 and Ja is the reason why they won a lot of games, I don't think it's something you have to harp on, but it's something to keep an eye on when you have to question Ja's value throughout these playoffs or even this series, depending on how this goes. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's talk about the main event of this game, and that's the absolute masterclass performance Anthony Edwards put on in his first ever playoff game. Plus 12 throughout the entire game for the Timberwolves with 36 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks on 12 for 23 shooting and 4 for 11 from 3 and 8 for 8 from the free throw line. I think that's tied for the 4th most playoff debut points ever. And he just looked ready out the gate. He started off the game with 13 points in the first quarter on 5 for 7 shooting. And then throughout the game, he just got a little bit, I guess, more comfortable. And it was just a battle between him and Ja the entire time. They weren't necessarily going back and forth, but you can tell that this really meant something to both of them. And overall, if this is who Anthony Edwards really is, not only the Minnesota Timberwolves going to be one of the best teams in the NBA playoffs for years to come, but you can look for him to be top 10 within a year or two in the NBA, like definitively a top 10 player, because the skill, the size, the athleticism is already there. He looked a lot more active on the defensive end this game, and if he really decides to get in his bag defensively, oh my god, the Minnesota Timberwolves definitely got them one. Pretty concerning on the Memphis side. I mean, you work this hard for the second seed in the NBA, and then you lose home court advantage very, very fast. They have no actual matchup for Cat. He was just having his own time just destroying this team on the boards and offensively. And right now, Ja is going to the rim and getting whacked every single time. So who knows if he can last a full playoffs or a full series without getting injured with how they're guarding him at the rim. So, and overall, this Minnesota Timberwolves team match up very well and really handled them really well in the regular season. That gave them a lot of trouble, and this is exactly what we're seeing in the playoffs again. On the Minnesota side, you're able to have a game where D'Angelo Russell shoots 2 for 11, and you still take one away from Memphis at home. Cat shows that he can definitely perform in the playoffs, as he redeemed himself from the absolute trash performance he had against the Clippers. And Anthony Edwards shows that he means business, and he is one of the best players in this league, or one of the best young players for years to come in this NBA. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. How do you think this series is going to turn out? Do you think it's just a first game that Minnesota wins, and then from now on they're really not getting anything else in this series? Or do you think that, you know, this is a show for what's probably soon to come for this team? But with that being said, this is FLB. That's my time, and I'm out.